Are you doing all the right things and you're still just a disgusting fat ass? Well, okay, it might be a little bit too hard on you. Okay, maybe there are some healthy things that you are doing that are keeping you fat. Okay, maybe you're eating all the healthy stuff that's out there. Okay, it's got the green sticker on it, so that means it's good, right? Nah, 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 nah. Of course not. So I think there's 3 different tips that they have on here. We'll try to break it down as best as we can. I got a little bit of background in this stuff, so let's see what the heck is actually going on. I exercise a lot every day, and why have I gained weight instead? Because you can't out-exercise a poor diet. I eat a lot of vegetables and only healthy snacks, but why can't I lose weight? Because you're nutritionally siloed. You're not properly filling up all of the cups. If you have encountered any of the above situations, it might be that your healthy habits are keeping you from losing weight. No, it's a glandular problem. In order to, healthy habit number 1, doing a lot of exercise every day. What do you mean by that? Maybe, because again, being a personal trainer, well, as a personal trainer, I'd like to say in my experience, no. I've been to a lot of different gyms, coached a lot of different people, and I've seen some people who spend a lot of time at the gym, and sometimes a lot of time at the gym involves sitting on a recumbent bike, okay, with their feet up, watching television, going at exactly, 3 pedals per hour. But I do a lot of exercise when I'm there. They do more socializing than they actually do exercise that's down there. So a lot of exercise every day, I got to call it out a bit because I've seen it a lot, okay? I do a lot of exercise every single day, and my results just show, okay? Whenever I get caught slipping, it mostly has to do with my diet as opposed to the exercise, okay? I got some wet-ass t-shirts that are out there, okay, with sweat, okay? And sometimes it's raining outside, so sometimes they're just wet because of that, but I put in the work, okay? And it always comes down to what you do when it comes to your kitchen activities, as well as the intensity of what you're doing. So in order to build muscle and lose fat, people put in a lot of effort to exercise. They even do high intensity interval training every single day. Nothing's wrong with that, but are you actually doing HIIT, or are you just doing, it's uncomfortable and then I'll just stop? Yes, high intensity interval training is very good training. It's a very time efficient and productive way of training, but a lot of people don't hit those heart rate thresholds in order to qualify for HIIT. They just kind of do MIT, really. After exercising for a period of time, they unexpectedly find that instead of losing weight, they're feeling increasingly tired, according to obesity specialist and endocrinologist Dr. Ming-Chi Tsai. There are 2 main reasons for this phenomenon. The first reason is exercising without controlling the diet. There you go. You cannot out-exercise a poor diet. Many people eat after exercising, and often we actually overeat after exertion of workout. Yeah, and a lot of people that you meet, if you just are new to this sphere, new to the field, especially if you're going to be doing any sort of personal training, I just want to exercise so I can eat whatever I want afterwards. That's not how that works, okay? You do all of that strenuous activity. If you're actually out there exercising, and then you just want to repair all the little microabrasions that you create in your muscles, which is what happens when you break down muscle tissue when you're lifting. And then you want to repair it with chocolate cake. It doesn't really work out that way because there's no nutrition in order to go in there. You're kind of lacking protein that's in there. Just saying. Or they think that, I just ran that extra mile on the treadmill and now I'm just entitled to 3 more chocolate bars. Doesn't quite work that way. 2010 study that people tend to overestimate the amount of energy they consume during exercise. Exactly. That's why I'd recommend little wrist trackers as well, okay? Or any sort of heart rate tracker that's on there. It'll give you a fairly accurate assessment of everything that you're doing as well. So you can get a basal level of what your caloric expenditure when you're not exercising is, and then the increased amount of calories that you're burning while you're exercising as well. And then you can figure out what kind of a deficit that you need to run in order to encourage weight loss. Or if you're trying to put on lean muscle mass, how many additional good calories you need to be eating as well. The study asked participants to estimate their caloric consumption. It's always off. That's why you need to weigh it and document all of your calories, especially if you're entering into a new diet cycle. Turned out to be 3 or 4 times higher than the actual amounts consumed. When they were asked to eat some food to compensate for the calories burned during the exercise, they ate 2 to 3 times the actual calories burned. Yeah, see what happens? That's why you need to document everything. Second reason is high intensity exercise can affect metabolism. Okay, I'll be interested in this one. Most people today suffer from sleep deprivation. What does that have to do with high intensity exercise then? Interesting. And exercise is then an additional stressor on the body, and there can even be a negative cycle. Excessively high intensity exercise promotes secretion of cortisol, a stress hormone. The increase in cortisol levels in the body will cause fatigue, sleep disorders, mental deterioration, and declined immunity. It can also cause the accumulation of abdominal fat, reduce the level of leptin, satiation hormone, and increase the secretion of ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Leptin promotes a sense of sensitivity, while ghrelin increases appetite. See, I know my stuff. I didn't even read ahead. Therefore, it is best to make sure that you're getting enough sleep first so that our body can handle and respond positively to exercise. Yeah, exactly. How about you document the food that you're eating, make sure that you're not going above or below your thresholds, and then also sleep on top of that. And you should also hydrate as well. Small-scale study in 2021 showed that excessively frequent HIIT can overstress the body and suppress metabolism. Okay, the study published in the scientific journal Cell Metabolism found that 90 minutes of HIIT per week, that's a lot actually, was effective, but increasing the exercise time to 152 minutes per week, so adding an additional hour and change onto your regular amount, just for what? Okay, affected metabolism and caused oxidative stress on the body. Yeah, that's not progressive overload, which you should be doing with any sort of exercise routine. That's just overload. That's excessive overload, I would argue. Therefore, Dr. Sai stressed that we should not do exercise when we feel extremely fatigued. Nah, I ain't taking that soft stuff, Dr. Sai. We should do a suitable amount of exercise. Excessive exercise does not help shed weight, he said. Oh, it's a she, or that's a he. Could have begged to differ because you're being such a pansy. No, the only way you're going to see results is if you're disciplined. If you're extremely fatigued, good. Learn from that. Don't be fatigued the next day. Get your sleep then. Today is the day that you have, and you got dealt the cards that you have. Play them. No excuses. If you sleep less than 6 hours and still exercise excessively, it's detrimental to your body. Sources needed on that one. People who don't sleep well on a regular basis shouldn't do intense exercise. Yeah, well, just fix your sleep pattern. How about that? Consuming lots of vegetables and salads. Okay, I'll be interested in this one. Whether or not you want to lose weight, eating a lot of vegetables and salads is always a good thing. Okay, then what's the problem? However, after doing so, some people find that they haven't lost weight. Instead, they have gained weight. Why? Seemingly refreshing salads can ignore two major calorie traps. Lackadaisical dressing application. Proportional ingredients. Under normal circumstances, the amount of vegetables in salad should be more than the amount of fruits, nuts, and other ingredients. Yes, exactly. Furthermore, some ingredients tend to be high in calories, such as nuts, dried fruits, cheese, and avocados. In Caesar salads, baked or fried croutons can also be added. Secondly, there's dressing. Yeah, so it has nothing to do with the vegetables or salads. Imagine that. It's just putting nonsense on top of your salads. So again, when it comes to dressing, I highly recommend something that I employ and something that I would encourage you to do as well. Scoop 1 single tablespoon of mayonnaise. Avocado oil mayonnaise. Can't recommend it highly enough. I think it's healthy choices, complete foods, something like that. I get it at Costco or whatever. It comes in a jar. It's about 2 months supply. Okay. 1 little scoop, put on top, salt and pepper with shrimp, chicken, and then a whole big bowl of salad. There we go. That's my dinner. Very little deviation on top of it. Relatively healthy salad dressings include vinaigrettes. I wouldn't get anything out of a bottle or has a craft label on it. But again, just always scour for the unsavory types of oils or ingredients that are in there. Anything that you can't pronounce or anything that comes from a seed or a flower, don't do it. Japanese style salad dressings, I'm unsure of what they are. And yogurt dressings, okay? Also, although vinaigrettes may contain some lipids, fats, unsavory fats, so as the sauce is liquid, it can flow to the bottom of the bowl, unlike Caesar dressing and other types of salad dressings, which are easily absorbed by the ingredients. Okay, I guess. In addition, some people eat a lot of vegetables at each meal or eat vegetarian meals. Sorry about your brain damage without consuming enough protein or starch. Yeah, that's why you got to put meat on top of everything. Grab a handful of shrimp and a handful of sliced chicken on top of it. There you go. So they will begin to experience muscle loss. Yeah, and again, as a vegan option, I would recommend 9mm, 40 nuts and beans over top of that if you'd like to. But again, that's your choice. Benefits of protein foods, in addition to increasing satiety, also include helping maintain and grow muscles. Of course, but we already know about that. Plus, many people frequently eat out, so just don't. Salad, dressing on the side, and then throw the dressing away. Or just see if you can get olive oil on top of it, and then just make sure that it's olive oil because you have a canola oil allergy or a seed oil allergy. Just recommend that as well. And don't, get anything fried or anything like that. I see the bunch of stuff that's in there. Some people do not eat starch, believing that white rice and bread are high in calories and make them fat. That's not necessarily true. Bread's relatively low in calories if you want to compare it against other things as well. And white rice, it's just there. It's just carbohydrates as well, but it's nutritionally vapid. That's not a word. Vapid and vacuous. I tried to create a word right there, but there's nothing to it, okay? And simple carbohydrates, they don't do anything for you. They don't offer any fiber. And yes, they're not delivering any vitamins or nutrients, so just get rid of them. Compared to white bread and bread with high sugar content, whole wheat bread can be healthier. But again, I would recommend just steering away from anything that has gluten. White rice doesn't, but again, kind of just a non-starter food if you ask me. If you pay attention to ingredient combinations and cooking methods, eating a lot of vegetables will not cause you to gain weight. Just don't mix fats and carbohydrates, fats and proteins, or carbohydrates and proteins. That's the way that you do it. Otherwise, if we can break it down to a scientific level, I'll just give you a really, really high 35,000 foot overview when it comes to this stuff, okay? Because again, when you're breaking a fast when you first take on a meal, okay, your cells are more receptive to whatever type of energy comes in. The protein won't normally stimulate that sort of response, but carbohydrates and fats will. So you want a very small amount of fat if it's going to be entering the cell, because it's going to be taking it in regardless if it sees it as a molecule of carbohydrates or fats. And fats per gram, 9 calories per gram of fat, as opposed to 4 calories per carbohydrate that's out there. So if you're going to be breaking a fast, do it with protein because it won't elicit that type of response, or do it with carbohydrates because 4 calories per. And then if you mix the two, okay, you have the fat and the carbohydrate in there at the same time, your body's just going to take it all in, and it's just a futzing disaster from there. I've broken that down in more scientific ways previously on the channel. So again, just forgive me for the layman's take on this. If you replace half of the meals with vegetables, you'll definitely lose the weight. He helped 1,000 people lose weight through his online courses. That's adorable. I'm not having him sell anything. Snacking on only nuts, dark chocolate, and other healthy snacks. Yeah, no, exactly. Dark chocolate, if you're not doing it correctly, could just have a bunch of additional milk stuffs, sugar in there as well to sweeten everything up. Healthy snacks, unless you're looking through ingredient lists, aren't technically all that healthy. And then looking at the specific nuts that are out there, it could be another dangerous mix, okay? Like peanuts and cashews, high in fat, high in carbohydrates as well. Or even if you have all of the best intentions in the world and you're eating some of the best nuts that are out there, pecans, walnuts, macadamia nuts, and you just end up overeating because they're just so easy. Or again, pistachios as well. It's a pretty good mix, but it's very easy to overeat, especially if they're unshelled. So get shelled just as a barrier of entry. That's there as well. But they're also relatively high in carbohydrates as well. So again, see if they get anything different. Cocoa butter in dark chocolate is very high in calories. Again, it just all breaks down to knowing how many nuts, what size of dark chocolate there needs to be, or healthy snacks that are out there. Make sure that you adhere to the portion size as required. Since meals are cooked with oil, it is not recommended to consume additional snacks with high content. Yeah, exactly. You should be eating regimented meals that you have out there. And a calorie deficit. As the above tips imply, not all calories are created equal. Exactly. Once you're eating whole and healthy foods, the key to weight control is a calorie deficit. That's always what it is. You want to lose weight, caloric deficit, 300 to 500 calories per day. Get rid of those. And if you want to add weight, add muscle mass on top of it. Same thing, 300 to 500 calories on top of that, mostly from good quality sources. High nutritional content, high protein content, healthy fats as well. There you go, simple as. First, start recording your diet. Take a photo is the easiest way to record your meals to review. Or weigh them and then run it through a calorie conversion table. They're so abundant online, don't even need to cite a specific one. But just track your calories. Track what you're eating throughout a regular week, and then you can just kind of break it down, okay? Where do you splurge? If you splurge on the weekends or in the evenings or anything like that, then you can just go ahead and try to mitigate those little discretions that come about, and then you can find a baseline that's there. So again, you just don't need to go, well, I'm on this all juice fast, or I just only consume ketchup or mustard or whatever one of those stupid things that I seen was. But no, you figure out what you're eating. If you're consuming like 2,500, 3,000 calories just because you're not on top of everything, you need to figure out what your basal metabolic rate is, how many calories that you just normally use in your body in order to maintain a regular day, how much exercise you're doing on top of that. Figure out how many calories are going out every day. And then, of course, whatever your goals are on top of that, most people are just looking to lose the fat that's out there. Sweet. Figure out, track your food over the course of a week. Figure out average everything out, put it all together, average it out over that 7-day period, and then just start to regiment your meals. Okay, you can add intermittent fasting in there as well. You can cut out breakfast and then just have lunch and dinner, or you can have breakfast and dinner, whatever works for you appropriately. Find a regimen that works for you. Find a diet that works for you. Make sure that you're consuming high caloric food, or not high caloric foods, rather highly nutritional, calorically dense foods that are actually going to do something for you instead of whatever tastes good. Hit your macros, meet your micros, and then guess what? You won't fall into the trap of, well, I eat everything that's got a healthy label on top of it, and I just work out so darn hard when I'm at the gym with my best friend, and we just talk a lot, and we really do push each other. Ugh, if I've heard that excuse once, I've heard it too many times. So yeah. There's a couple of insider tips that you need in order to shed those additional pounds, because we're kind of heading into sweater weather. So don't, okay, next time when spring and summer eventually rolls around, okay, you won't have that much to take off or at all. Or you can just go through a total transformation and then just be a complete smoke show when you take off that hoodie when it starts to heat up once again. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.